Everybody's doing it. Mm, good stuff. All right. Yeah, it's funny. I have a little bit of my tea left because I have a little warming plate I put it on as I transition to regular old water, which is lovely in itself. Here we go. Whoops, wrong way, wrong way. Ah, yay. My goodness, what a busy morning I've had. I hope you've had a good morning yourself. And for those of you just tuning in right now, I hope you can see and hear me. I love it. Spreading sunshine. Oh, I love you guys. You like give me what I want without even having to ask. So thank you. I wicked appreciate it. Because I would just have to do some things to make it so you could see and hear me. And now that we don't have to worry about that, there we go. Here's my peeps. Spreading sunshine and Becky Ridgway and Louise, and the like is done. Look at how good you're getting, Louise. Remember when you and I first started working together and we struggled with getting you on the Zoom? And now look at you. You're like an IT expert. I love it. Practicing something makes it easier. I wish I had learned that when I was a kid. When taking pianos. Okay. Taking piano lessons and stuff. Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to focus, do not disturb, because here I am. Here I am, says Laura Voorhees. Love to see you. I thought of you this morning, Laura Voorhees. I did, because I went on a walk in between decluttering stuff and coaching and whatnot, and I saw some painted rocks. Painted rocks. Painted rocks. I saw some painted rocks, and I thought, oh, that reminds me of Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Yay. So I love that you also noticed that doing something fun also helped you get some decluttering done. Yeah, just drop the fear and just try it. Just try it. Boy, do I wish I had learned this earlier in my life, but I didn't. That's okay. When I look back at myself from my 95-year-old perspective, I am so glad I did what I did in these years that I'm living right now. Hey, look who's in the house. Carla Jane. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Testing. Carla Jane is in the house. Nice to see you. I said y'all the other day and I thought of you. I did. Very cool. Very cool. All righty. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There we go. Friends and sisters. I love it. Yep. Better late than never. A wonderful phrase. A wonderful phrase, people. And I love it. And this is really fun because this is one of the things I truly enjoy about, excuse me, that was gross. The YouTube lives is substantially fewer people show up. Now, I don't mind it. I am happy. I welcome all, except for jerks and haters. No problem. But I love the fact that there are people who are on the mailing list, so you know when to show up and you show up. Everybody's welcome to join the mailing list. Again, everybody asterisk except for jerks. Hey, yo, Cat Roby. Laura is saying Judy D is in the house, and Judy D is saying hi to Louise, and Louise is saying hi to Carla, and it's a gang. It's a gang, it's a group, it's a gaggle. It's a wicked lot of people. Yes, we got our peeps here. We do. Now here's something I want to mention to you because I was thinking about it yesterday. Somebody had mentioned, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we all got together at some point? Now, that's a possibility, but do not wait for the big thing to happen. No, I offer to you all. Now, I don't know how it would happen on the chat here, and I don't know how private you want to be or public you want to be. And I say this because sometimes, like when we were on a YouTube live recently, we were talking about some pretty deep things. Now, I kind of sometimes forget when it's just us that these videos are often recorded and they're uploaded to YouTube and then they're available. So I say this with the idea of privacy and comfort and safety with your personal information. I can give you my personal email. So what I want to offer is the fact that if you want to get in touch with other people from the mailing list, let me know and I can coordinate that. So don't wait for me to be setting up some conference and doing this and doing that. That is big stuff. Start small. If you want to become pen pals, I love that idea of pen pals. Email pen pals with some of the people here. Send me an email, and you know my email because it's my first name at destinationdecluttered.com. Send me an email and say, I am happy to share my info with anybody. Okay. Now, and this is funny because Carla is saying, I won't lie, I look for the tubies. She's calling it the tubies, the YouTubies, and shy away from the other. I feel like this is fam. Yeah. Now I will offer to you. Um, there's place for all. There is. So I love where you feel more comfortable is where you're going to show up. No big deal. Now I will say I like showing up to TikTok because I know there are people out there who are struggling with clutter that don't even know that there's help available, that they don't know that there's a cool group of people who are working through their own struggles and getting some good stuff done. So I show up there for them and I show up here for whoever shows up. And that can be people who know each other, like Sue and Carla Jane. And I could have sworn, yep, there's Judy Dukes and a lot of people. But in case there's somebody who just is signing in for the first time, like today, we had a declutter party and there was a couple of new people there. Welcome all, except for jerks. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Okay, now many of you know that, but just in case there's new people here, we don't want to be clicky. We are not a clique. We are not. This is not Mean Girls. Okay, but man, do we mind? Do we kick out the trolls? No big deal. So, good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday. It is not sunny, but it is not pouring rain out, so I will take that. I did go out for a walk. I'm feeling good about that. We are getting some good stuff done. Um, Literally, emails are going back and forth, or texts are going back and forth with the guy to do the final walkthrough of our basement. My husband and I, no, and trust me, Carla Jane, I did not judge how you said it. I get where you're coming from. Your words were not misconstrued. That was I've got an interpretation of them. Everything is cool here. No need to worry. Um, I am so excited though. I just got to go back to the basement. And I want to share this with you because this is important. The more I coach, the more I realize how important the little things are. The little things are stopping you from returning that piece of clothing and getting a credit. The little things are the things that are stopping you from getting what you want. We often think it's the big things and sometimes just a few little things. Okay? I want to share with you that the more you can tune into what those little things are and solve them, the quicker what you want just appears. Noticing what bugs you and speaking up to do something, and speaking up just not to complain to somebody, but to better yet, inform the person who can do something to change it. Sometimes that person is just yourself. Other times you need help with it. For example, our basement floor looks so much better than it has in the past 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 years, probably. However, there are a few details that I noticed that I know I would focus on. And so I said to my husband, I want to get that addressed. He also noticed some things that didn't bug me, but bugged him. He also notices it. He and I had this conversation yesterday about being clear about what you want. Now, sometimes some of us can be maybe a little bit more direct because that's where I'm from. And I want to be clear and direct, but not like in a bad way, just to be so, this is what I want. This is what will make me happy. I used to work retail, and really, when you ask somebody what they want, what would make them happy in this situation, that's a direct line to making them happy. Give the people what they want within reason. So, us informing the basement guy of the few things that bugged us allows him to provide us with a solution that addresses those things, and then they get done, and then we all feel good about the process. Okay? Now, Laura says, I donated about, oh, it just zipped. And as I was reading, something popped up. And so here, Laura says, so I'm shifting gears. Laura says, I donated a bag of clothes, hats, and stuff from the closet decluttering. I had been doing a good job with consignment, but decided this bag will get out quicker by donation. Yes, not all roads, you don't have to take the same path to getting things donated. This morning on the declutter party that we had, a new person showed up and she said, well, I've got these three piles. I've got stuff that needs to be altered. I've got stuff that needs to be prepared. It was clothing, and stuff that needs to be donated. Each one of those categories has a different path to, I feel good about this. So just notice, sometimes you will donate, other times you will sell, other times you will consign. Sometimes you will give things to people you know, other times you will give things to people you don't know. It's all good. The main thing is getting it out of your home. When you decide you don't want it, what's the easiest and quickest way to feel good about how you get it out of there? And to me, I'm in the stage of my life where it's like the sooner the better. So you can go back and forth about these things, you know? Yeah. Oh, funny. Therapy Gal Sue, I had no idea I was calling you out, but it's a good thing. Okay, here's one. Since I called out Therapy Gal Sue, she says, Beth, you unknowingly, because I did not know, called me out. Going to declutter my returns now. All right, everybody, we have a topic today. We have a header. What do you have in your home right now that one of the way out of your house is, I want to return this? Okay, think about that. And you can work on that while we're here. Oh, oh, Carla Jane. Carla Jane saying, my morning started off like a poop bag on fire with a volcano pushback. Oh, I freaking love how you speak. So entertaining. I cried. I worked in the rain. I prayed. I made some needed calls. I breathed. I made my plans. I showered. She's about to go out and do things. And so notice all the things that happened within a few hours. I mean, if you ever wondered if you were a zombie or a robot or a real live human being on the planet, look at the rainbow of feelings you felt and things you did within the just past the few hours. Okay. All righty. So Carla Jane says, I have a huge box of Belk returns, but she's headed to Walgreens first. Awesome. I love that. Sending love and hugs to all of you, of course. Yeah. But notice, part of life is feeling the feelings, living through them. I heard a thing on TikTok this morning that literally, even just using this, I remember thinking it was like a minute and 47 seconds, but 90 seconds is close enough. When you are feeling a feeling, better or not so good or whatever, even a not good feeling, to me, I want to expand the feeling of good feelings. So I don't want to put a limit on them. When you are feeling a feeling that you don't want to feel, that is not necessarily welcome, but it's necessary for you to live, set a timer for 90 seconds. Notice if you feel any different at the end of the 90 seconds. And rumor has it, and there are probably studies that show that you will feel different after 90 seconds. That it's like a wave and a crash, or a wave and a it goes up on the beach and then it recedes. That's better than a wave and a crash, because who wants to be crashing under the waves? But it hits the wave, it hits the beach, and then it recedes. So think of your emotions that way, your feelings that way. It may crash, maybe it knocks you down, but then it recedes, and then you can stand up on and decide to go again. That's why we like to get out of the deep end. And you know how oftentimes I talk about feelings and stuff in the pool? I'm picturing a swimming pool today. For whatever reason, I'm thinking of the ocean. That if you stay in the shallow part, it's churning and churning and knocking you down and knocking you down. The more confident you can get of getting out deeper, but still feeling okay, it's less churning, it's more floating. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd much rather float than churn. So notice that. How can I get out of this shallow kind of repetition of crashing and waving and crashing? And sometimes it means going in deeper than you're used to. Maybe up to your neck, but you can swim. Your tippy toes are there. You're hoping it's not going to get hit by a little crab going snip, snip, snip. But you're like, okay, this is cool. And you notice the churn behind you. But then you're up there and you're like, ooh, this is kind of fun. And then maybe you get a little bit of a float and you're like, oh, okay. And then you trust that you can float. You trust that you can survive out there. This is a lot of what coaching is doing, is getting you comfortable, getting out of the surface area and getting a little bit deeper into the stuff that's stored and sentimental. And think of that about being in the ocean. Practice being in the ocean. And please, for the love of God, let it be beach weather soon, you know? There we go. Yep. And I love this. Carla Jane is saying, since I decided to fart, since I started, since I decided to start feeling the feelings, decided to start singing as loud as I can. Just breathe as in a stupid, crazy accent in a weird voice until I make myself laugh. Then I'm okay. Laughter is one of the most powerful weapons you have in your weaponry. And I don't even like to talk about weapons. Laughter is a powerful tool in your toolkit. When you can laugh in the face of danger, when you say, I am not afraid of you, you're a small little man with a small little wiener and little orange hands, and I'm not afraid of you. Doesn't that feel better than being afraid of something? Ha ha! I laugh at you. I laugh at myself. Let's not take some of this stuff seriously. Let's take the serious stuff seriously and do something about it. But the more powerful we feel and the less afraid, the more we can take action and feel better. So, yeah, sing songs, goof at yourself, poke holes in your seriousness, your drama queen tendencies. We all have them, right? Yeah, Judy Dukes. I wonder who I'm talking about, huh? Seriously, think of the people that are trying to scare you and laugh at them. It is a powerful stance. Try it. It's fun. Now, hey, Christine, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I can believe that this 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time works a little bit better for you on the West Coast. There we go. I love it. Carla Jane is singing Just Breathe a la Florence Henderson. Wicked funny. Having some fun with it. Have some fun with the human condition. Laugh at your wrinkles, embrace your wrinkles. Endeavor to love yourself, no matter how you sound singing or what you look like naked in the mirror or whatever. Okay? Now, Christine, that's good to know that you love this time. The people who speak up get what they want. So I'm going to write that down. Christine and 25 other people are showing up 1 p.m. Eastern because I have the Destination Decluttered YouTubes and TikTok live scheduled for the next week between now and I say the next week. What am I talking about? It's only till Thursday of this week. I have some penciled in for doodly bop for next week, but I haven't shared them with you. Knowing that this time and for Patty, second wind, good time. Okay, I'm writing down Patty because now notice you're asking for what you want. You know, I am asking for what you want, more likely to get it. Okay. Now, what you don't ask for, you don't get. Here's a fun thing. I started coaching informally, easily 4 or 5 years ago, and I just got a Facebook reminder because I started on Facebook about some images that I made with some quotes on them, and it was literally like, "You do not get you. It is so much more hard to get what you don't ask for. Ask for what you want." You know. Yeah, those 8 a.m. parties are rough for you, 7 a.m. for me. I get it. I get it. Carla Jane. That's why 9 a.m. for the declutter party seems to be working for um, a lot of people, especially one of my clients who reiterated how much she loves the nines. Can you imagine? Think of somebody who says, I love what you do there. Thank you. You'll probably keep on doing that. Notice how you feel when you declutter. Do you thank yourself for it? Do you feel good? When you thank yourself and feel good about that, do that for yourself. The more you reinforce those good things. And yeah, the 9 is great for the parties, so I'm going to do more parties. The only reason I will share with you total transparency that I don't do the nines on Saturdays is because there is a yoga class that I truly it brings joy to my life to be able to get that into my morning routine, and I can't do that and do a declutter party at the same time. Um, I am more than happy to do the 8 a.m.s and heck, the noon times. But I also know with summer coming, that it's also, I want to get you guys getting some stuff done. And, the neat thing is you could tune into a party at 9 a.m. and continue your own party afterwards, you know? Yeah. And the neat thing is sometimes we do need to show up at times that are not as comfortable, or you can just set your party for yourself. Nothing wrong with that. So 1 p.m. Eastern is good for Christine and Patty. I love that. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the plan that I made for next week, and I'm going to run it through because I like to help people get what they want, because I want to reinforce the practice of figuring out what you want and asking for it and saying yes. Notice when you ask for it, you got it Toyota. Okay. Now that's a good thing. Judy is saying 8 got me going on Saturday, and that was good. Yeah, I had another client say, yeah, it was a little bit hard to get going, but once I got going, I got a lot of stuff done. And she said later in the afternoon, she looked back and was just impressed. Yeah. Christine says, thanks for listening. And I will share this with you. Don't you want to be a fairy godmother? Listen to me, fairy godmother. I'm a godmother. I'm a godmother to my niece. A fairy godmother. Don't you want to grant people wishes? Wouldn't it be fun? Bing. Now, I don't have a scepter or a wand. Maybe my wand would probably just be like a ballpoint pen. I listen for your wishes, and when I can make them come true, I can make them come true. But I can't make your wishes come true unless I hear them. And you can't articulate them until you figure out what it is in you that you want. Don't you want to do that too? If you knew there was somebody in want of something that you had in your house, now not everything, but if somebody said, "Hey, I could really use a crock pot," and you have 3 of them, wouldn't you want to be a fairy godmother and say, "I've got more than enough. I've got an abundance of crock pots, and I would love to make your crock pot wishes come true." Listen to what you don't want, and then tune in to see if anybody else wants it. Publicize it. Does anybody I know need the following things? And just post a bunch of photos. Sometimes the people you know directly could use what you are just not wanting anymore. Other times you will not know the people whose lives you change. This happens to me all the time. I kind of love it, because there are lurkers out there, good lurkers. I'm a good lurker. I don't interact a lot sometimes in my real life with things, but I listen, I watch and listen and learn. And so somebody may never know what they said changed my life, but when it does, I will make sure they know, you know? Now, I love this. Carla Jane says, don't even play. I tell everyone when you come here, you leave with a parting gift. Yes, welcome to my game show. Everybody leaves with a parting gift. I have given away 2 crock pots already. Now, I love that. Yeah, I had a friend, and I will offer this to anybody who was ever thinking of moving. I got this from a friend, idea from a friend who got it from another friend, which was, you know how when somebody moves into a house, you have a house warming party and you bring things to them? The opposite is often true. Do the opposite. When you are thinking of moving out, inviting people over and have a house cooling party. Set up the stuff you don't want and invite your people over and say, take whatever you want. A house cooling party. And yes, the leaving with a parting gift, Carla, you crack me up. Yes, because it's just like being on a game show. Everybody gets a prize, you know? Yes. And Carla said too, we totally talked about this on Saturday. When someone says something that changes you, please let them know if you can. And you may never be able to thank the people that really changed your life, but what you can do is honor what they taught you by living that example. You know, I know that the things I do that are good are an accumulation of things that I've picked up from different people. My aunt, my great aunt Aga, the lady at the bank, a teacher I had in college, my mother, a girl I worked with once, somebody I used to hang out with in my vintage days. So many things are the patchwork quilt that we create to help us do the good stuff for ourselves. We may never be able to thank people, but if you have the opportunity, do it. I will offer this to you as an example. I am rarely on Instagram anymore, and I signed on the other day, and a message popped up from somebody I haven't seen in years. It was from back in the day when I was doing my vintage stuff. And she said, "Hey, we're going up to Lake George for the tiki thing. Do you want to, are you able to get together for dinner?" And I thought, "Ah, crap, I would love to get together with you." And but we can't, I don't think it's going to work out. But I was reminded of just one phrase that she said. I can picture exactly where we were, and it just mind blowing, changed my life. It was this. Everybody write this down. If what you're doing is not working, do something else. She said to me, "Yeah, I realized because she used to, I can't remember what she used to do. I think she used to make clothes and sell them. And then she was doing things. And then she went to bespoke, that she would only make clothes for people who paid her to make the clothes. She wasn't buying it hoping that people would buy it. She would do bespoke tailoring and outfits for people, custom clothing. Because she said, yeah, what I was doing was not giving me the results I wanted. So I started doing something else. And that blew my mind. And I realized underneath that was almost like her words gave me permission. I felt like I couldn't. I was stopping myself from changing what I was doing. And then when I realized I was allowed to, I had permission to change it, I changed it. And that's why you see me here today. That's why I did the decluttering coaching. That's why I shifted a lot of what I was doing, because what I was doing back then was not giving me the life I wanted. And so I got curious about what don't I like about this? What could I do to get the opposite of that? So I have shared that with her, and I will continue to share it with her. And then her words, I use them as an example and I share them with you. If what you're doing to declutter is not giving you the decluttering results you want, let's do something different to get you the decluttering results you want. Now, notice the decluttering results, I'm always picking the wrong thing, the decluttering destination, as it were. Your destination decluttered. Are you there yet? No. That's okay. I will tell you, my house is slightly less cluttered than it was earlier because my husband moved the weed whacker that he was assembling in the dining room out of there. And within the next 2 days or so, we're going to take that giant Christmas wreath that has been laying on the couch in the tiki room that we call our dining room for almost 2 months because we had no place to put it because it was in the basement. That's going to be hung up. So if you're not there yet, that's okay. Are you on your way? Are you on your way? You are, because you've tuned in today. I know you are not as cluttered as you were before you met me, right? Is anybody here as cluttered or more cluttered than you were prior to knowing about Destination Decluttered and hanging out with this cool group of people? Is anybody more cluttered? If you are, please let me know in the comments. Seriously, because I want to find out what that's all about. I can pretty much assume and guarantee and hope and pray and all that good stuff that all of you are showing up because you're learning something, that you are getting value and nutrition out of what is happening here. And I love this. I love this. Laura is like, oh, God, no. Yes. And Kristen Dorsey is saying no with 2 exclamation points. Shannon in retrograde is saying less cluttered. Patty M says, thankfully, no. So notice what you're doing. You are on your way towards that destination. You are no longer on the dock or at the beginning of the road trip. Yes, less cluttered. Yay. And Kristen says, I love how you make us think about clutter. Yeah. Now, Ellen is saying, and I get this, I bought too many things as Joanne was closing. Manageable, but more yarn. Okay, so notice that feeling of too much. Yeah. And I love it. Louise is saying less cluttered and a lot shifted to get after it. Shifting gears in your car, shifting gears in your head, shifting gears in your heart. So notice you are no longer at the beginning of your decluttering journey. You are between the 2 points. And every time you do a little bit more decluttering, you're further away from where you started. And I mean this in a good way. And you're closer to the other side, the closer to the destination. Yeah. And Ellen says manageable, but more yarn. And then I got caught up, but I was aware at least. Okay. and awareness, noticing, thinking. Those are the skills, people. Those are the things that I love to remind you to do because that's where all the good stuff is. Being aware of what you're doing, being aware of why you're doing it, being aware of the results of what you're doing and saying, do I want that result? If so, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't want that result, change it, you know? Now, Laura Voorhees is saying, I so appreciate that you have given me skills to declutter. I used to be totally overwhelmed, but now I know what to do. All the downs. And Carla Jane says, in so many ways, no, she is not. And there are levels. You can declutter your house. You can declutter your head. You can declutter your heart. You can declutter your life. And all of it happens organically in a way that feels good to you. I love that. Yes, being aware, noticing, maybe for the first time in your life, choosing to believe that back then I did the best I could with what I had. Not beating up previous you, but being so grateful that right now at this time, 1:32 in the afternoon on a random Monday in June of 2025, that you're saying, "Wow, I am learning something. I am becoming more aware of the cause and I was going to say call and response, like the cause and result, you know? And this is the good stuff because that kind of thinking and observing and noticing the cause and effect can be copy and pasted all over your life. That's why Carla Jane is saying, changed my life forever. And yes, I am grateful to do that. So I say to you, rock on, people, rock on. But if you're in the middle right here and you're afraid you're not going to get to the end, notice the fear can slow your roll. Okay. Yeah. And Judy Dukes is saying, I love it. Kat Roby liked the live, check the measure for fixtures, and she's going to start to cook the peppers. I love it. Judy Dukes is saying, I have decluttered quite a bit. Awesome. You know what that does, Judy? Everything you have decluttered is a decision you made. So your story that I can't make decisions, I struggle to make decisions are hard, it's outdated. It's not true anymore. It probably never was, but you told yourself it enough that you convinced yourself it was true. It's just not true. Every item that you declutter represents a decision made to say, I want more of this life and less of that life. And it happens a declutter at a time, a piece at a time, thing at a time. Now you're saying, I have to learn how to keep things decluttered. Yeah, good. Good to know what you want to get better at. I want to get better at keeping things decluttered. And that is something you can learn as well. And that is habits. And that again goes back to noticing what I do with my stuff, when I do it, and how long do I keep between when I've noticed it's not there, when I do the thing and when I fix it to where I like it. You know? Yeah, Cheryl Lopez is saying, I watched the How Long Does It Take lady and stopped procrastinating decluttering the Tupperware drawers. Yes, she rocks. Christy something or other on the YouTubes, on the TikToks. I hope she's reposting her stuff to YouTube too. Because our brains are so good at so many things, but some things they're not good at. And they're not good at certain admin tasks. At least mine is not. I have the wonderfully creative part and the admin part, and they both work well together. It is an unstoppable combo of the creative and the one that helps get the creative done. I have always said, and I'll repeat myself again because it's so true. I always think the best thing would be a business school built next to an art school because each one of those skill sets needs one another to be a whole person, being creative and being analytical, allowing yourself to be wild and crazy and fart around and get some stuff done. A balance that feels good. And our brains are great at a lot of creative things, but our brains are not clocks. They're not calendars. They don't know how to tell time. Your brain thinks it's going to take forever. It's going to take too long. But when you actually do it in real time and you time yourself and you get curious and you just start, 9 times out of 10, it's going to take so much less time. So when you know that, when you realize that, when you live it and you have your own living examples of it, you will begin to notice that when your brain says it's going to take a long time, you're then really like, sure about that? Sure about that? Yeah, you know what? Let's just find out. Let's just even start. Let's see how much we can get done in 20 minutes. Let's just start. See how much we can always stop at 20 minutes, but let's just even start. Getting started is often the hardest part. Now, I love this. Carla is saying, I've decluttered my life of some terrible ideas. Good. Some habits and even some people. Yeah. Decluttering. Yeah. Noticing what you don't want in your life, who you don't want in your life, and saying thank you, but no. Yeah. I love it. Much more decluttered and learning routines to keep it up. Yeah. Cat Roby, 100%. Who else? You sure about that? Is a tone of, can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? My husband, I had to show him that because I kept on saying it. And he's like, what are you talking about? Oh, like you don't even speak TikTok. Do you even Bitmoji? That's another one from us for years ago. Yeah. Sure about that? Sure about that? Can I pet that dog? I love it. I love it. So you are so good. You're on the road. On the road again. Can't wait to get on the road again. Yeah, but if you're on the road and you're slow, anybody, is anybody here? I mean, it's our core crew here. Anybody stuck? Anybody stuck? If you are, Blanche, that's okay. Even when you're driving down the road trying to loosen your load to get 7 women on your mind, right? Even when you're driving down the road, sometimes your tires lose a bit of air and you need to refill them. Sometimes you don't even realize that. Actually, you know what? I'm glad I said that because I want to write down, put air in the tires of the element. Put air in the tires of the element. Okay. Now, okay. Laura Voorhees is saying me. Elaborate. We need some details. Details and specificity is going to help you. Cat Roby, don't want to put away the laundry. Why not? What is so awful about putting away the laundry? Okay. Oh, so little to do. I love it. Isn't that nice? I'm like, I don't know. Like I literally, I'll share with you guys. 1:38 p.m. After this, I had my schedule open for some coaching consultations. Nobody signed up for them. I don't have anything officially scheduled yet until 7:30 tonight. I love it. I get to decide what I do and when I do it. And yes, I have clutter that's around me, but I can't really do anything about it till the basement, later this week. It's a wonderful feeling not having to really do anything. I did a little bit of dishes earlier. Laundry's under control. Okay. Now, Laura Voorhees saying, feeling a little stuck with the basement. Okay. So notice the basement is usually the land of deferred decisions. Okay. A lot of stuff is my adult kid stuff. Pending apartment move ins for both of them should hopefully clear a lot out. Notice the temporariness of that situation. I could easily say to you, I feel stuck. I've got this clutter and I can't move it anywhere because of something that's going to happen in the future. And it's true. I'm not going to move it anywhere because I want to move it to where it belongs. So, Laura, remind yourself that those things are not permanent, that it's going to be when child A moves out and child B moves out. And also, please be clear with them that you are not the storage unit place, that your expectations are when you move out, you will be taking your stuff with you. It should hopefully clear a lot out and it will clear a lot out. Okay. Now, Cat Roby says, so little to do. Yep. I don't have a lot to put away, so you can do it pretty easily. And, and I need to thin out so I can put away easily. Okay. So notice that. How can I make it easy? Cat Roby, chunk it down. What is a category of what is the item? What is the item that you have the biggest quantity of in your clean laundry that needs to be put away? How many items? What's the number, the biggest number of items? Is it pairs of underpants? Is it t-shirts? Is it socks? What category of clothing is the one that has the most quantity that you need to put away? All right. Um, and Laura Voorhees, again, with the temporariness and all, Laura is saying, I've sorted a lot of my stuff, lots of sentimental to sort, but I feel like I need more space so I can literally get to the boxes. Do not deny that. That is why we start with surface and then we go to stored. So surface clutter is the temporary stuff, and you need to clear it to make a surface to then spread out your stored stuff. Okay. Yeah, so sometimes you do need space to literally get to the boxes. I'm doing the same thing. I could easily make more of a mess in here with these things. I prefer not to. So I'm okay with that. I am not allowing myself to consider myself stuck. It's just this is in a holding pattern. It doesn't. It's not limbo. It's not stuck. It's a. I choose to look at it in a way that does not evoke emotion, fear of being stuck. I'm not stuck. That's there until things change here, and there's a plan, and there's progress towards those things changing. Um, Oh, interesting. Now, Louise says, I was stuck a bit this morning. However, after listening this morning, I have now decided to let go of new unused sheets before they dry rot. Yeah. If you are holding on to things you have not used, it is possible that they are going to break down. Think of something in your house that you have that's still kind of new in package with tags. Get curious why you are not using it. Do not judge, get curious. Maybe you bought them because it was a good deal, but you're not using them on your bed. I love giving away things that are new that I thought I was going to use and then inadvertently I don't, because then the person who gets it knows that they're unused. Now, thinning isn't happening today, and I am putting these away. I adult, and Cat Roby is an adulting ninja. Okay. Um, Okay, so Laura Voorhees, I love this because we can make a plan. We're making a plan together. Laura says, what do I do if they don't take it? You don't take it. You are firm in your resolve with love in your heart that you will not allow them to keep the stuff in the basement. It can be tough love. And I don't mean this in a mean way. So I'll read the whole thing. What do I do if they don't take the stuff? Like great grandma's china that she wants, but she doesn't want to take it for now if she might be moving in a year. She is moving Florida to North Carolina. Okay. Notice that specific box. Notice you could negotiate. You could, what is that word? The word no, negotiate? You could consider keeping one box of china in the basement until 2026 when she moves. You have some flexibility, not take it all or nothing, but notice that's not the stuff that she doesn't want. Have a conversation with it, her, and maybe even seriously, you may feel better about the plan for their stuff to start talking about it before they actually move, so they get an idea of understanding what they want and what they don't want. There is a difference between you being gracious and storing something temporarily for somebody, and you feeling like a doormat and somebody just leaves it there and you don't say anything. It's all about who has the power to say yes or no. And I've got the power. You have the power. Okay. So notice that having a clear and loving and upfront conversation. And we learned this from Judy Dukes earlier, when you're feeling good physically, when you're not exhausted, when you're feeling good energetically, when you're not all haywire, when you are feeling calm, cool, and collected, and you know what you want. You want all of their stuff out there. Always aim for the number one thing. But then if you want to be a little bit wiggly roomily, have some wiggle room. Okay, as long as you get all that stuff out there, I will be a gracious person and temporarily put those dishes in my basement. But that's it. And there's going to be a due date as to when they're out of here. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for what you want. Stand up. Okay. Now I love this. Louise's sheets that weren't even being used, she's going to give them to her grandson. And you know how much she loves her grandson. My grandson needs sheets, so they will be going to be put to good use. There we go. Now here's the thing. Um, Ellen, I want to help you break this down, chunking it down. Ellen says, I think my block is taking the things to the donation place. Well, let's say it is. It's in a pile. I will unstick myself because I wrote down that it will get out by Thursday. So, what I would say is this: there are steps in between these things. So, is the stuff in a pile, or are the items in containers that are easy to move from your home into the car to then get them out there? Okay. Are they in containers? If they're in containers, can you go the next step and put those containers into your car so they're even closer by Thursday? There are often a lot of little steps in between. Kind of like going back to Laura Voorhees, the kids don't leave till here, but let's start talking about, let's make a plan for the clutter, so it's not, oh, I'm moving out but I can't and I'm all overwhelmed and just keep it there and no, the sooner you start this, the less likely it will be that the nervous system can get overwhelmed. Now, Carla Jane says, when we had to keep things for we marked the end of the box, destroy, hold until a month, year. If you decide to help or hold for a certain time, mark all four sides. That's a great idea. Yes. Yes. Mark all four sides of the box, in the top and the bottom too. So no matter where it is, the message is clear. This is what's in this box, and this is its expiration date. The, as we would say in my family, the shit or get off the pot date. Okay. There we go. Okay, the clothes are in a pile. I added the small steps to my list so I can cross it off. I think I'm distracted or tired. Yeah. But notice, if you've made the decision about the clothing in a pile, it could be a very easy thing to just put them in a bag. I use those white kitchen garbage bags all the time to put my donations in because we already use them for the kitchen garbage. So, Ellen, what are some easy bags or boxes you could put your stuff in? The fun thing is, too, here's a trick. I almost did this earlier today. Anybody who has any like tote bags or an abundance of those free, or even they paid for them, like the reusable grocery bags, if you have too many of those and you want to declutter them, put your donations in those bags and then donate the bag and the stuff inside. It's like a double whammy. Yeah. And notice sometimes we think it's just between this chunk and that chunk, but between those chunks, there are little mini chunks, little small steps. Put it in a bag, put the bag near the back door, buy a bottle of hoisin sauce. Anybody? I crack myself up. Put it near the back door, take it from the back door into the back of the car. Remember that it's in the back door, back of the car. Write it down to drop it off on Thursday. Remind yourself on Thursday to write it down. I mean, that's way more things on the top of your head, but if you write it down, there we go. I just don't look at it. I'll get it in a bag. I'll get it in the car. Yeah. Notice this. Many times we leave things in a certain place as a visual reminder to take action. When you look at the item and you don't take the action a number of times, your brain says, screw it, this is not working, and it becomes blind to it. Until you, again, we talked about being aware and noticing and alert, unless you look at your space with fresh eyes. Now, I know totally, I have not looked in that corner with fresh eyes in a long time because I've known that I'm not going to change anything about it. So why bother? Once the basement floor is finished and dried and I assemble the storage unit for those boxes are going back down there. I will be keeping up one of the boxes to go through, but notice where your current process of putting something out there to remind you visually is not working. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, and totally buying a bottle of hoisin sauce. You don't realize you go and buy one because you didn't realize what you had because you became blind to it. And sometimes we are blind to the habits that we repeat. I went through a whole habit like in the last number of years of buying a lot of stuff that was pink. I didn't realize it till I realized it. I also noticed right now as I look around that I even said it to my husband, I outed myself. I said, I have to be careful not to be like, oh, and that's like when I was in my pink era. Oh, that's when I was in my black and white era. Now, to me, a black and white era is a good era, mainly because at least there's white in there as opposed to wearing all black. Okay. So I offer to you, It's noticing, it's becoming aware. And you become aware of different things at different times. But the more you can say to yourself, what do I want? And become aware of what is between you and that destination, and becoming aware that you can do something about that temporary roadblock, the better it feels. The better it feels, right? So that's why I show up to remind you of these things. And I am happy to do that because I know I would not be able to easily come and preach what I'm preaching if I didn't truly believe in it. I know repetition means a lot. I know encouragement means a lot. I know that patience means a lot. Not getting frustrated. Be patient with yourself. Remind yourself of the tools you have in your toolkit. Maybe you make it a daily practice to review all the abundance of tools you have in your toolkit, and your toolkit has a few powerful, not even a lot of tools. It is not the 64 crayons in the box. It's more like the 8 crayon box, because even when you have 64, you're probably using only about 8 crayons, right? It's going to be becoming aware, noticing, how do I feel physically? And if you're not feeling good physically, doing something to feel better physically. Then you say, how am I feeling energetically? Nervous system, focus, all that. What can I do? If I like what I am, good. Next step. If not, what can I do to change it? All the downs. Once I'm feeling good physically and mentally, where am I headed? Every day. Every day I'm shuffling. Every day, where am I going? What's my destination? That's my destination. Okay. What can I do to either get there, decluttering, or maintain being there, maintenance, like Judy Dukes was saying? Okay. Uh huh. Okay, Cat Roby, 9 minutes to adult. Still haven't adulted. I mean, I adult at all other things and not this one yet. How about this, Cat Roby? You're creating a spell. You've cast a spell on yourself that pile of underpants and t-shirts is stopping you from doing something you're saying you want to do. Who's in charge here? That pile of clothing or you? Break the spell. Is the are that we've got it would delight me to know that in 7 minutes now, because I don't know when you said it. I have 1:53 p.m. on my clocks, so we've got 7 minutes before 2 p.m. Could you, in the next 7 minutes, go over to wherever those clean clothes are and put your hands on them, and then just take the step of putting them from where they are onto the top of your bureau? Could you do that? And notice I say bureau. You might be able to. And here's the fun thing. I love this. I think adulting has a bad rap. Because adulting is, yes, adulting is not all or nothing. It's not all I do is all the crappy stuff. I have it written down for myself. It came up on a TikTok live last week, and I put it in quotes. Adulting means I get to do anything I want to do whenever I want to do it. Okay? Now, Kat Roby is noticing the physical roadblocks as well as the emotional ones. A giant microwave blocks in the way that can't be installed yet. It's in front of the laundry door. Now that the robot vacuum is done, I can move it and get to my laundry. Notice the temporariness, the temporal qualities of what that was. That was just a temporary roadblock. All of these are just temporary roadblocks. Now that this has happened, I can move that there. It's like, do I have it? Can I get to it? I'm trying to reach to my little pile of tricks here. Okay, I don't want to waste 2 times, but those toys with the tiles on them, where you have to move one to the other, and sometimes it takes a few steps to get to where you want to go to, and different pieces need to move in different directions. It's the same thing. So notice that sometimes one thing has to happen before another. I was thinking about this morning, but so I'll just riff and offer it to you. Certain things have to happen in a certain order. I was getting dressed this morning and I said, yeah, it wouldn't make much sense if I put my shirt on and then my bra, my leggings and then my underpants. No, sometimes it makes sense to do one thing before another. Putting one step in front of the other is a process, is a plan, is a steps. I feel like Robin Leach. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. I love it. I love it. I'm yelling. Yep. Have fun. Get it done. Don't make a big deal. Don't allow stuff to cast a spell over you. You can't do this. It's too much. We have power over you. It's just a pile of clean underpants. Oh, you can never live the life you want. We are going to stop that. Oh, yeah? This is my house, and I get to do anything I want here. That's what being adult means. Is not, I mean, when you're a kid, you have to do what your parents say, allegedly. You're not a kid anymore. Why are you not adulting in the best way possible, doing whatever you want whenever you want it, and living in a life in your Barbie dream house? Remember when Greg Brady moved and made his mod pad in his dad's like architecture office? Why not create your own mod pad, your old cool place to live? Look at how cool my house is. I love coming home. I love opening the door. If you don't love opening the door, imagine opening the door and what's the first put thing your eye lands on that you don't love seeing? That's an indicator you can do something about that one thing, and then just play I spy a little bit at a time. Solve those problems. Tighten them up. You're all doing it anyway, you know? As I said, you're no longer on the dock or at the beginning of the road trip. You're no longer in the driveway. That's more because I'm not a boaty person. You're no longer in the driveway. You're on the highway. And you're on the road because the road has varying, you know, exits and speed limits and curves and rumbles and all. Yeah, and think of how sweet it was because Greg finally got to do what he wanted to do. He didn't have to live in the red, white, and blue dark paneled room with his brothers. He got to express himself by decorating his home and setting up the furniture the way he wanted to. That is what you can do when you are an adult. You can do whatever you want whenever you want to do it. Now, if you choose to not put away the laundry as an adult, own that and don't complain about it. I choose to scroll on TikTok instead of putting the dishes in the sink. That's okay. I decided not to do them and I feel okay with that. So notice this is all about deciding what you want to do and feeling good about your decision. Okay? Feeling good. Feeling 7 up. All right? So we got 2 minutes and then I'm going to sign off for the day. What do we got going on here? We know that we are going to like the 1 p.m. Eastern is a good time for these YouTube lives. I'm going to schedule some more at this time. Kat Roby is finished. She is finished. You guys, see? In the how long does it really take? That's our own. We're playing the home game. I love it, Kat Roby. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling good about that. I've got a list of things I'm going to do today. I have a list of things I'm going to do tomorrow. YouTube Live, TikTok Live. She's finished. I love it. All right. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, TikTok Live, YouTube Live, TikTok Live, YouTube Live, TikTok Live, declutter party on Thursday, 9 a.m. Many people have said that 9 a.m. Eastern works for them. 9 a.m. declutter party on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Nope. You're going to watch repeats. You're going to turn to channel 56 and see the reruns because it's the summer. And they're on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, which strangely enough, I'm looking over there, but technically it's right here. And then next Tuesday to beyond, we'll deal with that. So yay, Kat Roby. I love it. That was 8 minutes. See, isn't it fun? Play the home game, you know? Ellen says, thanks. Almost finished filing paperwork and then we'll bag some clothes. Enjoy your time. I will. We got this, everyone. And we do. Each and every single one of us, all 26 of us, are not where we started. We are on a road trip towards Destination Decluttered. And each one of us is in our own little car. And some of us are further along and others are just starting. But we're all headed in the right direction. Okay. We are like I don't know, like a convoy. We got a great big convoy rocking through the night. Breaker, breaker, 1-9, right? Breaker, breaker, right? Anybody got their ears on? Now, I'm going to sign off. It's 2:00. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to get some stuff done, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Bye.